tonight with a new special in-depth investigation. But first, a warning. While we believe this is a vitally important story, it is one some will find difficult to watch.
And that's because you're about to hear from a Phoenix police officer who says she was sexually assaulted by a fellow cop.
Too trusting.
But if you can't trust the biggest police department in the state, I mean, who can you trust?
I don't know.
Name is Abby Dennison, and experts say Phoenix treated her in ways that no victim should be treated. The city botched the investigation involving two of their own and kept a dishonest and problematic cop on the street.
He's a cop we've previously exposed for racking up shootings, a false arrest, and multiple sex assault allegations. Tonight, Abby tells her story to ABC 15 investigator Dave Biscobing.
We call this investigation a matter of consent, and here's why. One, that's basically cop speak for he said, she said, and in this case, the officer accused of sex assault denies the allegation. And two, you'll notice the con is highlighted in red. And that's because Abby says she was conned into thinking that Phoenix PD would properly investigate. Abby Dennison always wanted to be a police officer.
Oh man, it was something I'd wanted to do ever since I was a little kid, actually. Just had a heart for justice and a heart for helping people. And
she started in 2008, one of just a handful of women in the academy. First working patrol, rising to detective.
I actually used to be very proud to say that I was a Phoenix police officer, and I'm not anymore.
That changed after one night and one officer. His name is Anthony Armour.
It's someone who has done some really terrible things, not just to me, but to other people, other women, and has been allowed to get away with it.
Allowed, even celebrated by Phoenix PD. We'll get much deeper into that later. But first, the night Abby says she was sexually assaulted, August 20th, 2010.
So I have kind of a snapshot memory of it.
She was at the house of a fellow Phoenix officer.
Yep, drinking. He had a pool, so there was some swimming, just hanging out, talking about the job, talking about work and life.
It was a small get-together of 5 co-workers.
The last solid thing I remember was Armour was making drinks, and I don't know if for everybody, but he made me a drink. And I'd already been sipping a beer or something, and he approached me and offered me a drink and said, "Try this." And I said, "No, I'm good, I have a beer." And he got a little bit more aggressive in my face and said, "Try this." And I said, "No, I'm good." And he got even closer, and through his teeth, he said, "Nobody says no to me, try it." And like shoved it in my face. So to avoid a scene, to avoid just feeling uncomfortable, I took it and I drank it.
So I'm gonna take my mask on. He says when he hands you the drink, like he grits his teeth. Mm-hmm. So he's like, "No one says no to me?"
Like, take it. No one says no to me, take it.
Here are snapshots of what Abby remembers. First, standing in the pool, talking to the guys. Then, slumped in a lawn chair. She can't lift her head. Next, being held up in the shower to rinse off her vomit. Then, a friend putting her to bed and shutting off the light. Next, Abby woke up.
It's dark inside the room, and there was a window off to my left that had some blinds in it, and there was some faint early morning light kind of coming through. And on a dresser in the corner was a digital alarm clock. And in red letters it said, or red numbers, it said like 5 something in the morning. And that was when I noticed that Anthony was on top of me and he was having sex with me. So I like put my hands on his chest to push him away and said, "What are you doing?" And then it's just black again.
She says her next memories, less like snapshots and more like a blur. It's a period she still struggles to understand. She got in a car with Armour, went to his house, went inside the bathroom, then laid down. But after a few minutes, told him she wanted to leave to take her to her car. At some point the next day, you decided to go to the hospital.
I did.
Why?
So I was on my period when this happened, and I'd had a tampon in. And I remembered that morning when I got home, and I tried to take it out and I couldn't. So I went to the hospital to have them take it out and to have a rape kit done.
It had been lodged so far inside of you couldn't get it out?
Correct.
Here are her medical records. This is the form she filled out when she got to the ER. these notes from the hospital.
When I told them how it got dislodged, they said, "It sounds like you were sexually assaulted." And I said, "Yeah, I agree."
And then I'm sure that someone told you they're mandatory reporters. Did
Correct.
someone say, we got to call the police?
That same nurse said, "I have to call Phoenix police." And I remember just taking a deep breath and saying, like, "Please don't call, please, please don't." And they said, "We're required to." And I paused again and I said, "I work for Phoenix Police. I am a Phoenix police officer. Please don't call. I'm supposed to work tonight. I'll call my supervisor, but please don't just have some random patrol officer come out and take my report."
After Abby called, a commander, 2 lieutenants, 2 sergeants, and a detective showed up, questioned her. They sent 6 people.
Correct.
Some high-up people.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was awful. I mean, it was intimidating.
The detective then spoke to her alone.
It was very brief.
Did he say anything that sticks with you?
Yeah.
What?
He said to me, "You have 5 minutes to decide if you want to press charges because I have crime scenes to secure and search warrants to write."
He put you on the clock.
He did.
5 minutes to decide?
5 minutes to decide. It was so, it just felt like another violation, like another, you have to make this decision now.
What decision did you make?
I said yes. Initially, I said yes.
Initially?
Initially, I said yes.
So what happened?
I remember him snapping his folder closed and turning on his heels and saying, "Okay," and he walked out the door. And the moment the door closed to the room, I just got flooded with anything that could come from this, like the fact that it could be picked up by the media and it would be cop on cop. He's black, I'm white. He said, she said situation. There was alcohol involved, my reputation overall, the department's reputation. And I wavered and I couldn't do it. So I had my mom with me. I asked her to go run and get the detective. And he came back in and I told him, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can prosecute. And he said, "So you don't want to prosecute?" I said, I don't think I do. And that was that.
There was no further criminal investigation, but Phoenix did do an internal probe and cleared Armour. Do you remember what it was like to hear them when they said, "Hey, you did nothing wrong," when they told you that then?
Yeah. I remember collapsing to the floor and just crying. I believed for 10 years that they investigated this. And they didn't.